Welcome to In and Out of Character. This is a podcast about role-playing. Just a conversation between two players about their characters and about the way that they feel about role-playing. That's all there is. Some caution is advised, as some of these topics may not be suitable for everybody. Introduce yourself. You don't have to use your real name, of course, and just tell me what you've done role-playing wise.
Oh, well, that's going to be easy. Hi, my name is Shalandi, and I've been role-playing for about 4 months.
Right, yeah, I am so happy because basically when you started role-playing is when when our characters first met. So I am so happy to be like one of the first people you got to role-play with.
Yeah, it's been a really fun experience.
And right now, just so everybody knows that you're role-playing in Elder Scrolls Online with me and Brother Webb, who was in a podcast not too long ago.
Yes, we are. Yep.
What brought you to role-playing? Like, what was the catalyst? Because normally I ask, like, how'd you first start? But you literally just started less than half a year ago. So what was the motivation for getting online with a bunch of other nerds like myself and being like, I want to type fancy letters to each other? Because that's what role-playing is.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. You're creating little stories between multiple people that can go on for as long as you want them to. When I was young, I used to have a library card, and I would sneak off to the library when my dad had me for the weekends, and I
Mm-hmm.
would um, play games online. And somehow I found a role-playing community that was pretty innocent. It was just like sampling, and I was reading other people's interactions, and I thought it was really fun. And then later in life, when I was a little bit older, I found another game called Habbo Hotel, and it was a different kind of MMO game. And we did a little bit, it wasn't really role playing, but I really enjoyed being in game, being in like a digital world.
What was this called again?
It was called Habbo, Habbo Hotel. And I can't remember who developed it, but it's still around today. It's just called Habbo now. Now it's just habbo.com.
Yeah, I see it. What is this? What is this? I've
Yeah.
never seen this before.
So I played that when I was like 11 until I was probably 14. And that's where I got into like housing furnishing and decorating. And I stopped playing then. And then we got our PC last April, so almost exactly a year ago. And I started playing it immediately just to see what it was like. And I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is cool. There's still people playing." And there was actually like role-playing guilds. I just didn't know they were role-playing guilds. They weren't quite
Mm-hmm.
so organized as what you and I are in now.
Right.
But it just kind of spurred me in the direction. Then I started playing WoW, and I
Mm.
enjoyed that, but had a uncomfortable experience and decided to just quit the game altogether because it was expensive. And
Right.
then I was at a loss because I really wanted to fill that void because I missed gaming, and I was like, wait, I love Skyrim. I played Skyrim when I was 17 until I was probably 21.
This reminds me of a game. Okay, so this is flooding back some memories. Like I'm looking at Habbo, and there was this old game. God, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called. Jesus. But it looks so much like Habbo. But it was like this 2D social network where you could like go play games with your friends. It was sort of like Club Penguin, but
Was it
different.
Yeovil?
Yoville? I mean, hold on, let me try.
That was like a Facebook-based game. I played that one too. And yeah, I
It.
played Club Penguin, and there was girlsgogames.com.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, what? It's not. It wasn't. Okay, it wasn't Yeovil. God, I can't think of what this thing was, but it looks a lot like Yo World, to be honest with you, or Yeovil, or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
But anyway, so like, what brought you? So you went from Habbo this very 2D s 3D ish sort of environment all the way to World of Warcraft, and then you jump to Elder Scrolls.
Yes. So I played Habbo. That was when I was 11 to 13 or 14.
Uh huh.
And then when I was that age, can't remember what happened. Oh, I stopped going to my dad's house. Not gonna go into that story, but I mainly gamed at his house, and then I just kind of lost interest in going over there,
Uh
and
huh.
my mom didn't wanna get me any technology until I was of a more mature age so that I could, like, go outside and play, whatever, do that stuff. Um, and then when I turned 17, she let me buy a PS3, and
Right.
that's when I bought Skyrim.
And like every adventurer before you, that was it. Like once you got
That
into
was
Sky,
it. Yes.
do you know I've actually never beaten Skyrim? Never. I've played it so much. I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in that game, but I've never finished a main story quest.
Yep, I've heard that before. It took me about 2 or 3 years of just doing side quests before I was interested in completing the main quest, and by then I was so strong, I was like, one shot the boss."
One shot the boss. Yes, precisely. I used to love playing that game on like the hardest difficulty, just because I was like, I don't know why. That was one of the games I like to play really really difficultly, and I had this stupid little build. It was so dumb. It used the shield in the left hand because that's the only hand you could use your shield. It used magic in the right hand, and it was all about using alteration and illusion and destruction to do the things that it wanted to do. So from Skyrim, is that what sparked your interest in the Elder Scrolls universe, was just Skyrim?
Yes, just Skyrim. I hadn't played any of the other Elder Scroll games before that because it was just my first. It was like it had been out for a year, almost 2 years when I bought it, and it was still full price, and I had
Mhm,
heard so many things, so that was the only game I wanted to try.
mhm,
But yeah, I got hooked onto that from 17 to 21, and then I had a kid and I stopped gaming, and
mhm,
then
as children will do.
yep, and then she started going to school, and so I
Mhm,
had a little bit of time to myself, and I was like, "I really miss being in game."
mhm,
And I didn't wanna go back to World of Warcraft. Like I said, I had gone back I had tried Habbo again, experienced that, went to World Warcraft, experienced that, and then wanted something different, and I was like I had played Elder Scrolls on the PS4 that I bought when I was 21, and I had
mhm.
tried it on the PS4, and I was like, "This is garbage." That was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I was like, "This
Yeah,
is garbage. This has" and I was going from expecting it to be like Skyrim back
many
then,
many people were.
and then going from now expecting it to be more like WoW, and then having that more like that comparison.
Mhm,
And so my expectations were way more reasonable and I enjoyed it and I've just been in love with it ever since. I like just being in game. I love the graphics. I love the voices. I love that they use a lot of the original voice character actors.
mhm, same, same.
It's just really nostalgic.
It's nice. It's just really nice to sit down in a game, like a fantasy game like this, and just be able to play with your friends or even a role player, just to tell each other a story. It's you and I will just sit there and fish for a little while and talk just nonchalantly chat away
Yep,
while fishing or crafting or doing whatever.
yep. Just chatting, being in game. I think it's just really it's calming.
hmm so you being so new to role playing actually introduces me, or it opens up the door to a unique question I don't get to ask people a lot. Did you have any expectations going into role playing?
So I am kind of ADHD. Every few months, I like to discover a new hobby, and I do as much research on that hobby as I possibly can before I go into it. And so
hmm
there was a YouTube series, or there was a guy made a YouTube series about role playing and like how to get into it and what the like mannerisms and niceties and rules basically are, and so I watched that entire series, and I think altogether it was, like, 6 hours of
Wow!
YouTube videos, and
Wow!
I came in, like, totally prepared, but way overthinking it. Like, I was so nervous the very first time I ever role played with any of you. I was so nervous that my brain blanked and my fingers froze, and it was like I was plunking one single key on the keyboard, and it was terrifying, but I have relaxed into it.
Right, good, which is great 'cause, you and I have role played quite a bit, along with, many of our other friends, Jabu, Dartambe, Varane,
Pandrox.
Pandrox, yes. We've I see you role playing all the time now, which is great. It's honestly really, really good.
Yes, it's been nice.
Did you have any fears going into role playing?
Um, Not going into role playing, but I have developed a few fears going along.
Mhm.
Just, like, my content is too dry, and I'm not thinking well, I don't know, not thinking the way my character would think. Sometimes I do have a hard time getting in character, and I
Mhm.
try to immerse myself by, like, really like, I'll shut the music off in the game, and I won't have anything going on in the background, and I'll just listen to the sounds in the game, and that
Mhm.
helps a lot.
Mhm. Oh
Um
yeah, I do the same thing actually. Like where if I can't get into character, I will just turn off the music. I won't listen to anything at all, and it'll just be the ambience inside the cave. And my character can react to those sounds, and by using those reactions, I give other players a means to branch off of, writing wise.
Absolutely, yep.
One of the ways I helped, and a tip for anybody who is getting into role playing or just not sure what to do at the time of typing or whatever. Just if you're role playing inside of a game, just again turn off everything except for the ambience and use the ambience to your character's advantage. It's very very simple technique, and heck, even I want to say a life hack if you're like having a stressed out day. Just sit down and listen to the ambience around you. It is a very calming effect.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So, are you enjoying role playing so far?
I am, yes.
Because like when I first got into role playing, oh, I absolutely loved it, but I made so many mistakes. I made so many horrible, terrifying mistakes when it comes to role playing. Like I role played in World of Warcraft. In case you haven't noticed yet, there's like a bit of a social stigma when it comes to role playing, where you're not like the chosen one. Like none of our characters are the in terms of Elder Scrolls the vestige. Like none of us are the vestige, and none of us has had our soul stolen by Molag Bal in the Conclave. That is, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there who claims it, but that's fine. Um, but like we're not the vestige, and we're not like the chosen one in World of Warcraft or something like that. In World of Warcraft, I role played a paladin who wasn't actually a paladin. He was a human shaman, and this is back before. This is back. Oh God, this was during. Oh my God, when was this? I'm pretty sure it was right after the Burning Crusade came out, which was like, God, when did the Burning Crusade come out? Like 12 years ago, 15 years ago?
I only played WoW for, like, 4 months, and that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, it
I know
was
not.
it was released in '07. '07. Oh my god, I was 17 at the time it released. I am 32 now. Oh, I'm about to be 32.
Wow, yeah. So you've
S-
been role playing since then?
Oh yeah. Before then, I have always really enjoyed fantasy,
Mhm.
our role playing. I've always enjoyed playing pretend basically. Um Given the chance, I would happily go outside and do that with my friends. And I was always looking for like a creative outlet, which was never provided to me as a kid.
Oh.
My family was very sports, son. You have to go outside and you have to play sports. Don't you like sports? And I'm just like, I don't like sports at all. I don't. I mean,
No.
I like playing sports. I don't want to be competitive in sports, which is what my family wanted me to be.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to go to band. I wanted to play instruments. I wanted to write and read and watch movies and stuff like that because I was a nerd and I really liked those things. But my family, being from the deep south of Alabama, uh, did not appreciate those things. What was I saying?
Oh, that I was gonna say that just breaks my heart that they didn't appreciate that about you.
Oh no, it's okay. I luckily I'm an adult now and I can do whatever I want. And what I do currently is flail about and do this podcast. Uh, is there like there's when I first started, it was what I was trying to say is when I first started I made so many big mistakes. Um,
Oh, yes.
but like I haven't seen you make any of those mistakes yet, which is I gotta be honest, you're doing better than I did when I first started.
Well, that's because I watched 6 hours of YouTube videos on what not to do.
Oh, that's a good point. I did not do that. I kind of just jumped in and made this character and had his life tied to Arthas. If you don't know who that is, it's a big bad of World of Warcraft and no, it was a horrible mistake. Everybody hated mostly everybody hated my characters.
Oh my goodness. And did anybody ever try to, like, gently educate you on why that was against, like, protocol not protocol, what's the social
Stigma, like
isms?
yeah, socialisms. Yeah, so there was one player who was adamant that my character just get killed off, because they did not like the idea of a human shaman,
Oh,
and because humans couldn't be shamans, and they still can't be shamans technically if you go by class, but there's like a brand of humans that can be shaman if I can remember correctly. I haven't been on World of Warcraft in forever. I don't know. Um, but she was so adamant that my character was just the worst that she constantly tried to get my character killed off.
oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, like that one I remember. And then there was a few people who were better, who were just like, "Listen, we know that you're having a hard time. Maybe it's time to like pull your character back, retcon a few things, and just build it up." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe I should do that." And then after Wrath of the Lich King, there was Wrath of the Lich King after that, and then Cataclysm came out, and that changed the whole game. And I had to stop role playing for a little while. This is when I became homeless. Um, and once that happened, my character, like, I couldn't ever find the group again because they went to a different server, and I couldn't remember my passwords and stuff like that. So I just never went back to that character, and I made another character entirely.
And that just seemed to work out for everybody else in the end.
Yep. Unfortunately, I still hadn't learned my lesson that maybe I shouldn't be playing overpowered characters, and but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
Oh, goodness. Well, you have to learn, and especially if you start young, it's natural for you to just jump in and do it, and that's a really good way of learning.
Oh yes, it very much is.
I
I
I oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go right ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I like to learn from other people's mistakes before I stick my toes in the water.
Hmm. Yeah, well, you can watch us fumble around. I'm pretty sure you've seen Callie do a bunch of stupid stuff by now.
No, not really. I've always looked up to Callie and thought that she was a wonderful character.
Oh, thank you. She's incredibly rambunctious, just like me. So I'm thrilled that you think that. Really.
Well, if we can't relate to our characters and find something to identify with in them, then how can we role play them?
That's a good point. So this actually brings me to another interesting thought. So when I first started, I when yeah, when I first started, um, I definitely had a little bit of myself in my character. His name was Sylvirus at the time. I definitely put a lot of myself into that character, and I was heavily reprimanded for it. People did not like that, especially when I admitted it. Um,
Oh,
and then, but the cool thing is as time has gone on, we're starting to see a lot more people be more open about it, being like, "Hey, there are parts of my character inside of me, or myself inside of my character."
yeah.
Uh, and I think it's like really helped out the community a lot better. Are there any parts of Shalandi that are part of you?
Um, I hmm, really is are there any parts that of me
Mhm.
that are not in her?
Oh.
She is heavily unfortunately because she's my first role-playing character, and so I'm still getting in the groove of it and
Mhm.
identifying. I'm still developing her backstory, actually. Like, I've just started getting into more of who she is as a character.
Mhm.
So it's all still really new to me, and so a lot of the times I'm, um, just kind of role playing off of my first reactions off of situations instead of what would she do, which I need to get better about, like, what would she do? Not what would I do, what would she do? But a lot
Mhm.
of times it's easy to blur those lines.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Plus, it's fun to, like, type out your inner thoughts, like, how would I react to this how would I want to react to this situation in a perfect world if I was this really calm, collected human being and I had full control of my emotions and thoughts?
Right. No, I get that. Trust me, I do, because like there are times where I'm just out in my day and I can feel myself get upset about a situation, and I can actually I actually will pause myself and say, okay, wait, what do my characters do at this point? What would my calmest character do? And I'll sit there and I'll think about it and be like, okay, well, he or she or they, whoever they are, would do this as opposed to doing this, which is what I want to do. But if I want to be calm about the situation, I shouldn't do that. Um,
Yes, yeah.
Jack and I, a couple of episodes back, were really talking about how, and even Matt, or I'm sorry, Brother Webb, who was on the last episode, we were talking about like role playing can be very therapeutic. Um, and I'm starting to believe that role playing can be a form of self help, much more than people give it credit for.
Absolutely. I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if it's not really much of a saying, but a lot of times in therapy and when I've spoken to wise people, they've told me that even sometimes just saying something out loud to yourself, if you're stressing about it, helps you visualize the problem differently. So typing it out and writing it out and doing that with different situations,
Hmm.
different storylines, like it's therapeutic. It would be like you're writing out your inner thoughts, like how you would process the situation, how your character would process the situation. You're writing it out and it feels really good. It feels really good to write after going so long without writing and then getting back into it. It does release all the good happy feelings in the brain.
That is, yeah, all that delicious serotonin
Yes,
right into my brain. No, I get it.
from diddlyumptious.
Hmm. I am a person who actually has had to struggle with instant gratification before. I used to I used to lie a lot, and I would say like it wasn't a lie at the time. It'd be very intentional, but I would say, "Hey, I'm doing this." Or I'm doing that. And what I would get from that is people going, "Oh, cool, good job. That's very cool that you're doing that." And my body would be like, "Oh, yes, please, more praise. Thank you." I had to stop myself from doing that so much. Matter of fact, I no longer tell people I'm going to do something. I wait until I get a little bit of it done and then say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing now, and this is the progress I've made."
Mhm.
And it's because I don't want to tell people something I'm going to do, get that delicious serotonin in my brain, and then not do it.
Yeah, not
Uh,
follow through, I get that.
When it comes to role playing, one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much is because I can sit down with my character, Calipers, and type something to you, your character, Shalandi, and then get an immediate response to that. And it's almost like an instant form of pleasure isn't the right word. What's the word I'm looking for?
Gratification?
Kind of like it's just nice to be able to put something down and have someone like almost immediately respond to it. I think that's the reason why I like MMO role playing a lot more than other forms of role playing. Besides for that, tabletop role playing is a good example
Hmm.
where you can sit down at a table and be like, okay, this is what my character's going to do, and then the other players can respond, and you're all having a really good time with it. So, but with that said, have you tried besides for the Habbo Hotel and this,
Hmm.
like, have you tried any other forms of role playing?
No,
No, not at all. You're a
nope.
you're a fresh baby.
I'm a fresh face. Yep.
You're a little tiny baby girl with big dreams and a really cool character. I like Shalandi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I like her too. I really I always say Shalandi because I'm lazy, but I always want her to be pronounced like Shaylandi because it sounds more elegant. But I'm always lazy and I say Sh because it's like the
I
first half of my name.
I always like when I pronounce it like out loud. I've always gone Shilandi. I don't know. I
I
don't
know.
Shilandi.
That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And I still have trouble saying Dartambe. Dartambe. See, there we go. Dartambe. Dartambe.
I
How do you
think
say his name?
Dartambe, I really like that. I think it's a really good name. It's a nice name to say. I like the way it feels when you say it,
Uh
Dartambe.
uh-huh. And I feel the same way because like I see all these cool. I'm so jealous of Redguard players, of Khajiit players, and who was the other one? Of I think any Myr players. Because Myr, for anybody who does not know Elder Scrolls lore, is basically the Elven. Is basically the term for elves. Like you have your Redguards, your Nords, and your Imperials. Those are your men, the the human races of Nirn, and then you have the Altmer, the Bretons, and the not the Bretons. Yes, the Bretons. Bosmer, Altmer, Bretons.
The Bretons would be classified under the human category.
They would, but they're like half and half, aren't they?
I honestly, I don't know too much about I don't know too much other than Khajiit lore
Oh, that's
because
fair.
that's the only one I've looked up so far.
That's fair. So basically, what I'm trying to say is like Khajiits come up with these Khajiits, Redguards, Khajiits, Redguards, and most Mer races have these beautiful, elegant names. And my Argonian is named Runs with Calipers, and everyone just calls her Callie. And I'm like every now and again, I look at my character's name and go, "You're so fucking dumb. what what is up with your name?"
No, honestly, the very first time I role played with you in that group setting and we were in Cold Harbor and
Hmm.
I saw your name, I literally laughed out loud. I was like, Runs with Calipers? That's an awesome name.
That is precisely the point. That there is no other reason other than to make people laugh. The whole name spawned from a joke from Oblivion because my friend was watching me play Oblivion, and in that game you can find calipers everywhere, and I never got rid of them for some reason. I can't remember the reason why. I don't even remember if there was a weight to them or not. But I just had so many calibers. And my character's name was something stupid and edgy, like I don't know, kills with honey or something like that. My friend looked at me and says, "Should have been named Runs with Calipers." And we had a good giggle about it. And when I finally joined ESO when it first came out, way back when, I went with this name because they were one of the people I was originally starting the game with. Just to bring on a joke.
And it is a great name. I mean, it's a good joke. It's a good joke. I thought it was really clever. I showed it to my husband and he was like, brake pads? Runs with brake pads?
That's actually, believe it or not, that is something that I've gotten quite a few of sometimes. Like some people will get the reference. Some people who
Yep.
have played Oblivion will understand the reference and will laugh about it and tell me, "Oh, that's a great name and I love your character and I like the way she looks and so on." But then again, there are some people like if I go role playing in the open world with over at Bang Kori or Kari or whatever it's called, uh
Bankarai.
Bang Karai, Bang place, Anchor Point Inn, people will sometimes whisper me and go, "Why is your character named after after a piece of a car?" And I'm like, "Oh no, how do I explain this to you?"
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about the brake pads until he pointed it out, and then I was like, "Oh, wait, is that what it is? No, that can't be what it is. It's gotta be," 'cause my immediate thought was, like, scissors,
Mm,
calipers and scissors
mhm.
because of the kind of game we're playing.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I don't know jack diddly squat about cars. Anybody who gives me credit for knowing something on a car, I don't know it. I know how to change my brakes, I know how to change my tires. I can change my own oil, and that is it.
Disclaimer, but hey, I mean, at least you know how to do that.
Yeah. Was there, moving on into a sort of another question, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Has there been a bit of a shock factor when it's come to role playing, especially in like such a large community as the Divine Conclave and its parent community, the SoCon community?
Oh, when I first,
Mm-hmm.
joined the guild and they had me fill out the application and I had to make a SoCan uh,
Mm-hmm.
account and then sign up for them. And then I was so lost. I had a hard time navigating the website and navigating the forums on the Divine Conclave's um, web page. And I was like, what is this? It was a little overwhelming, but after being walked through it, and it's really nice that they have the mentor and discipleship program set up so that
Mm-hmm.
people aren't just thrown into it and been like, good luck.
Right. Yeah. It's a good system. I'm not gonna lie. I have three disciples myself, and they're all sort of taking their times with a few things, and that's
Mhm.
fine. One of uh, one of which is been pretty busy with life lately, so hopefully I'll get to see more of her in the near future. So actually, that's interesting because that brings me into the very next question I wanted to ask. Was there a particular reason you decided to join the like this large community, or was it like all done on a whim?
It was basically all done on a whim. I was like, I had a thought. I don't know if I must have seen, sorry, my brain trying to form a sentence.
You're good. Go
I
ahead.
must have seen some kind of role playing in guild because I was running through the game and one day I was just like, I think I want to try role playing. Or not running through the guild, I was just running through the game and enjoying the game and enjoying questing, but I was just enjoying being in the game and I didn't wanna have to run around and complete quests. I just wanted to, like, hang out with other people and enjoy the game with them. And I was
Hmm.
like, I think that's kind of under the same category as role playing. And then I think a day later, I saw, someone from the Divine Conclave advertising in Zone Chat and, like, putting
Hmm.
out the call, and I was like, "Hey, that looks like something I would be interested in." And
And here you are.
the rest is history. I applied and I obsessed over who I wanted her to be. I immediately went and changed my character's name to give her a last name because when I first created her, she only had a first name. Didn't even think I needed to make a last name for her when I created her because I hadn't even thought of role playing yet.
Hmm.
And then I was like, immediately, I need a last name and I need to do my research on this guild. And then when I found out how structured they are and
Hmm.
how many events they run every day, I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
what
At
in the
minimum, yeah. Just in case, like for anybody out there listening to this, the guild that we're in, the Divine Conclave, and many of the other guilds, all up underneath this parent community, the SoCon community. Like our guild alone runs at least two events a night, which is a lot. By the way, two already is a lot. Sometimes we have like four in a
yes.
night.
Yep. And that's every single night,
Oh God,
every
yes.
week, unless it's like holidays, but it's like it's full time.
Yeah,
So, when I
yeah.
saw that and when I realized just how big it was, I was like, "Am I cut out for this?" Because everybody seemed to have such a detailed backstory and a very well-established character, and I was just coming in and I was like, "I am gonna be a buffoon among royals here."
You've done great so far. Like really, truly and honestly. We our characters first met in Cold Harbor, and I remember you were telling me, and you were just like, I remember you messaging me after a minute of not like talking, and you're like, "I'm sorry, I'm a little overwhelmed. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm kind of lost." And I was like, "No, no, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. I get it. There's a lot."
Yes, there was a lot. Yeah, and I felt bad because I was trying to catch up with everything everybody else had typed, and then I saw that you had messaged or you had emoted to Shalandi,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like a whole page of scrolling continuing to the bottom, and I was like, "Oh lord, this person thinks I'm ignoring them
Oh
and that
no.
I'm rude."
I did shed a little tear. Not gonna lie. I'm joking. I didn't do that.
Gonna say I do that. I always try to make sure people know that I'm not ignoring them if I'm not ignoring them. If I'm actually ignoring them, I won't send them a message.
And that's fair. There are some people who have difficulties understanding that you don't want to be talked to right then and there. Which
Yes.
actually, another good question, brought up by you, thankfully. Have you had any bad experiences role playing so far?
Not in our guild, no. No. There was one little tiny hiccup of a event that I tried to do with a different guild. It's a very
Mhm.
new guild, and I offered my in-game house to host this role-playing event that they
Oh,
wanted to introduce
I remember. I
to the
remember you
guild,
telling me about
yes.
this. Yeah.
And like 6 people showed up and we were excited and we were trying to set the scene and the person who was organizing the event was under the impression that another person would be running the event, and that person was under the impression that he was going to do it, and then somebody was under the impression that I was going to do it. I was like, I volunteered my house so you guys could have a place to do this and I'd participate, but I didn't volunteer to run it cuz I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, so you had no idea what the event was about. And normally,
Yes.
normally you have to have a lot of communication with other people about the event. Either, hey, are you gonna just leave this whole thing to me and let me come up with something crazy and wacky and or awesome or sad or whatnot? Or is this gonna be a group effort and we're gonna work together to make this event happen?
Yes, and it would have been fine because there was 3 of us that were serious about role playing, and the other
Hmm.
3 had never role played before, didn't know what it was, didn't even know there was a difference between the say, yell, and emote lines, like, had never done anything like that. We were trying to explain it to them, and they just weren't getting it. And then the one lady that was really trying to set everything up had was marked offline, and so I was trying to whisper her like, "Hey, this is not working. These people do not understand what we're doing. Let's
Oh
just try to like
no.
wrap it up and just kind of keep it light." And she wasn't getting that and she was getting really frustrated that these people were not cooperating. And
Oh
I kept
no.
I kept like trying to wrangle him in like, "Hey, we're not decapitating anybody in here right now.
Oh my
We're
god.
not smearing blood on the walls. She's still intact."
Oh my god. Oh
And
no.
yes, it was a little bit of a fiasco. I didn't take it seriously. I was laughing behind the keyboard because I could see that this person was getting very frustrated and this other person was just living his best life, just kind of role playing the way he thought he was supposed to. And it was
Was he trying to murder somebody? Is that what I'm getting from you?
yes, but it wasn't
Oh,
like
no.
real. He was like uh actually, he was in our guild for, like, 1 minute, and then I think he was removed because
Oh,
people
no.
realized he was a troll.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Um, so he would start to sound like he was role playing, and then he would immediately take a hard left and be like, "I need all your gold so I can go buy a lot of female
Oh,
companionship."
I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, no.
Yes,
Okay, no,
yes.
not to everybody out there, not to knock on anybody in the community. I just wanna say that now. But
No.
you know a troll when you know a troll.
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, I forgot all about that guy. Oh, no.
So, yeah, I was laughing. I was able to laugh it off. Most of the rest of the other people were able to laugh it off, but the one girl that was really trying to set up the scene because she wanted to get role playing into the guild was just so frustrated because she had spent so much when you spend so much time developing a story and trying to present
Mhm.
it to somebody and it's utterly shat on, it's really
Yes.
disheartening, and I felt
Oh, yeah.
so bad for her, and I literally could not get a hold of her.
Oh no, that poor girl. No, it's
Yeah.
never fun. It's never fun when you have an event, but that you can't that you've been trying to set up. Like a good example is these paladin quests and these curate quests in our community. And again, just really quick, so everybody out there knows, in our guild, you kind of have to prove that you can handle your own DMing in order to go up into the rank. Because as you get up into the higher ranks, you do have to take on some DMing responsibilities. Not the one that Shalandi here is trying to go to, the Paladin rank, but like once you get to Paragon and stuff like that, like you have to prove that you can DM because you might be leading some events. A good example is those quests because like you have to spend so much time making these things, and if they don't work out, then there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
I luckily I haven't seen a Paladin quest or a Curate quest go unanswered. Like as soon as someone posts one of those, the player who ever posts it, which right now was two of you, three of you actually. There's you, there's Jobu, good man Jobu, and then there's Bernard who has his Holy Forge coming up, his Holy Forge weapon quest coming up.
Oh,
All right.
I thought his was already completed.
His Curate quest is done. So basically, before you can get to the Holy Forge, you have to go through a Curate quest. Jobu is going to his Curate quest now. And then after your Curate quest and after some time has passed, I believe, you can go on to do your Holy Forge quest, which is what makes you your holy weapon, which you can use role playing wise in this holy guild, just to make it really simple for everybody out there listening.
Yep. Yes. That is correct.
Yep. So by the time you get to this point where you're doing your own paladin quest, you're doing your curate quest, you're doing your materials quest, people know your character so well and they spent so much time with you that they're like ready to jump on and be like, "Yes, let's do this." I'm so excited. And I'm excited for legitimately all three of these quests.
Oh, yes. Yep. It is exciting. Like, I thought I was super nervous when I started forming it. I had no idea what to do, but once I started typing it out and really envisioning it, and you and I spoke earlier about this, getting in game and getting into where you're going to be for your quest and absorbing that environment really
Hmm.
helps to
Yeah.
form the quest because you can
Hmm.
envision it better. At least
Right.
I can.
Oh no, I work the same way. Like I prefer to get into the game to where the characters are, to where all the players are going to be, and then use that site or use that environment to type up the whole thing. I recommend that to anybody who's role playing in an MMO, to or something of that nature in a game, to go into the area that you want to be role playing or trying to set up the scene, and actually just sitting down and absorbing the environment around you, and that will help you fill out your event or your quest or whatever it is have you.
So yeah, I'm really excited for this quest. I was super nervous going in, but now that I've gotten some stuff down on a document and I'm envisioning it, like now I'm like, have I written too much? Is it going to take too long?
Mhm.
But I'm
Uh,
excited to see how it turns out.
Me too. I'm really excited. Maybe we'll even update the listeners to what happened during your quest. Um,
It
so
was
I
a complete failure.
yeah, I got one more thing. Was there, and this might be a little bit of a hard topic, so if you want to skip this one, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Is there any topics that you were kind of scared of popping up in role playing that might personally um become adverse to your role playing experience?
Um, any topics like in game,
Yeah, like in character.
in character?
Because
No.
yeah, because you have things that like freak you out. Like I cannot handle children getting hurt. Now, and like if I'm role playing and that happens, I kind of just suck it up and let it go. But like if people ask me, I prefer to tell them, "Hey, listen, I really just don't like it when children get hurt. This is something that happened to me in the past. I don't enjoy it. So if we could avoid that, I'd rather avoid that. But when it comes to in character, we don't have any control over that because these events are just happening. And I was
Mm.
just wondering, like when I wake up, or not when I wake up, but like when I'm role playing sometimes, and I'm going on random events, or not random events, or just events in general, I'm always afraid that this one thing is going to pop up. Basically, my question is like, do you have anything like that yourself?
No, because of the guild that we're in, also because speaking to your fear, our guild is definitely it's a hard 18 plus guild. You can't have any characters that are under 18. You can't write about any characters. I had just proposed for my quest that we use a child to like save them, to rescue them and make sure they got back to safety and they were reunited with their family. And my mentor was like, "Nope, we can't do that. We can't write about kids. We can't include children at all." And I was like, "I get it." For that
So
for lots of reasons.
right. So basically, the community here is sort of safeguarding you from anything that might be considered traumatizing.
Triggering, traumatizing, yeah, there's no children in guild or guild events, and also because our guild is more of a holy order, I get a little uncomfortable with, um, like, black magic.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of characters get really deep into black magic and dark magic in this game, and I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. I don't really know how to relate to that or what to do with that, so
Hmm.
I'm just gonna stay away from it." And so, I don't really have to worry about that other than, like, defeating I don't mind going on quests to defeat people that deal with black magic. I just
Yeah,
don't
like
wanna be on that
necromancy.
side.
Yeah, like in for I guess for relative sake, or for just to make sure people can understand what we're meaning by black magic here. In Elder Scrolls, that means necromancy. That means magic relating to the Daedra, which are basically this universe's demons, or the
Yes.
Daedra lords, which are this or princes, uh, lords, Daedric lords, Daedric princes. Anyways,
Daedric princes.
yeah, which are basically the demon lords of the universe and so on.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't like demons and anything to do with, like, paranormal demons in real life. Like, I have a big thing about not even watching horror movies in my house, like, specific horror movies about the paranormal because I don't want them to open portals in my house. I don't wanna open any doors that I can't close kinda thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just because 'cause I've heard some pretty scary things, and I've seen some spooky things, and I felt some spooky things. I'm pretty sensitive to that kind of spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
places.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really try to stay away from it on all fronts. Game in game, out of game,
I
all
gotcha.
that.
I
Yep.
gotcha.
So, yeah,
Um,
that's basically, like, the main thing I wanted to avoid in role playing, which is something that's easily avoidable in our guild.
right, yeah, because like there's not really a way for us personally to mess with that unless we're like running an event, and normally it's to go slay the big bad thing.
Exactly, and that's easy to do. That's like you're going to slay the thing. You're doing the right thing by slaying the thing. So,
Right, right, right.
yes, yeah, there's that.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I think we've been recording for a while. Like it's 9:11 now. I think we started at like 8:15.
I think, yeah,
Uh
something like that.
so really quick, we're this is okay, this is awkward. Or not awkward. This is just something that I wanted to start doing. Is it okay if I ask you where you're calling from?
Right now I'm calling from the state of Georgia.
Awesome, because I've got a little map here, and I'm starting to put pins in it whenever I get someone on here, and I'm gonna just keep putting pins in until things are completed, or I've gotten people from a certain area, or I've gotten someone from one of every state, or something ridiculous like that. There's no point in me doing it. I just want to be like, hey, you're my first Georgia call.
I mean, okay, so I guess it's worth noting I'm in Georgia currently, but I'm going back to Washington where we're from. So I
Mm,
guess I would prefer to tell people that I'm from Washington state.
No, I mean, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll cut the pin in half and put half of you in Georgia and half of you in Washington.
I appreciate that. I really do.
You're welcome. Um,
Okay.
do you have any, since we're near the end of the episode, do you have any last words you want to spout out to whoever will listen?
Dun dun dun. Any last words? I don't know, if you're listening and you're interested in getting into role playing and you're nervous about it, I'm gonna give the same advice that I got from that 6-hour YouTube video. Just jump in and don't overthink it, because if you overthink it, you won't do it.
And I swear to God, if you are role playing a character who is the child of important character A and important character B, but they were sent back in time because of important character C, I am going to personally, and then I have nothing else. I have nothing to follow up this threat with. Nobody, I can't
No.
I can't do anything to anybody.
Just
I
don't
will,
do it.
I will cry. All right, and
No
then
power playing.
and we will all feel bad because there's a grown man crying. All right.
Yeah, you're just gonna make a bunch of people feel bad. Just educate yourselves.
All right. Well, thank you, Shalandi, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank you for calling for Georgia, and thank you for answering all my questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.